All right, we will start this meeting of the Administrative Practices Committee. It's March 16th at 1 p.m. This is a special meeting, special agenda. We are conferencing in the public who would be in the East Annex if anyone is there. And I don't believe there is at this moment, but we will have an opportunity for them to speak public comment after the items are put forth to the board or to the members of the committee.
And then is this being videoed?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone.
So we'll go ahead and begin.
Brave new world.
Brave new world. We'll go ahead and begin item number 1.
Okay.
IT consulting.
Good morning, committee. Marvin Davis, Finance Manager. This is the IT consulting agreement, and the committee has some concerns with the contract, and we have included the non-disclosure agreement at the end of it. And we spoke with the attorney regarding the provision for attorney's fees.
Right. So my commitment to the committee, so this was approved, yes, because that part's
okay.
privileged to the committee. I committed that so the committee approved the item with two provisos. One, that we address the confidentiality, and two, to address a fees clawback. So we've reviewed that with the attorney. That his opinion has been provided to you. That is confidential to the committee, but also, and so their recommendation is to leave the contract as it stands. Director Heck and I are going to continue that conversation with the attorneys, and then the NDA. The attorneys felt it appropriate to do the NDA because it binds the person that's here.
Oh,
as
yeah,
opposed
no,
to
I
the
had
contract.
written in my notes NDA, but, and so I read the NDA. I think it's perfect. It's what I've used. It's pretty stock language, so it seems great.
So if you're okay, we'll with those two pieces, we'll carry the approval and recommendation from the last. We'll ask you guys to approve it here.
That was the 35% or 33% thing about.
Well, that's if we hire their.
If we hire their
Yeah.
employee, yeah.
That was the issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did have, I'm not asking for a change.
Yeah.
But I had one other comment, and we had talked about this, several months ago.
Yeah.
And that is, they've only got $1 million, insurance and
Right.
only $1 million liability. And so I put this note on here to remind us to look at that for future contracts. That we should, in my opinion, those limits should be higher, especially E&O in this case particularly. There could be far more than $1 million damage done if the person is not competent.
Agreed.
Okay, so I just really.
Isn't in general.
Well,
I
it's
think in
general,
this case,
and I'd
right.
love to see it here, but I don't want to hold up the contract because I
Yeah.
understand we're in an urgent situation.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I looked at that too and wondered, but having no experience,
Yeah.
how much isn't it, right?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, Chris. I mean, I think that, when we look at some of the, like, ransomware issues or stuff like that, I mean, some of the civil entities that have gotten caught have paid more than $1 million to bring themselves back to.
Yeah.
Back to
Or
100%.
if somebody had not the best of intentions, they
Right, but
could.
in that, it's not an error of omission, so it isn't an E&O fault.
Well, yes, it would be an
Right,
E&O,
'cause then-
but it would be under liability.
Right, so I go in after liability.
I know,
Absolutely.
but the liability's still only $1 million.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
thinking
not
those
disagreeing.
Yeah, I know, I'm
completely-
thinking all those should be raised to $5
Yeah.
million, and it's not that much more money for the insurer. or
In the end,
insured.
it comes to us anyway, right? They just wrap it into their overhead
They
charge.
do, but it's a nice insurance policy.
You're suggesting 5 million for all four categories?
Yeah,
Okay.
instead of $1 million. I mean, I don't know, the
So I don't
auto liability at $1 million, I mean, that might not even be enough. If they run somebody over, or kill somebody, that's gonna be more than $1 million.
All right. Well, I know that Greg and I have
been
talked about it
talking
as soon
about that.
as we're going through our insurance stuff. I mean, I think that's probably ripe for a conversation
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, that's
right.
all. Otherwise, yes, go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, good.
Greg.
Yes, go.
Thank you.
Go hire right
Right.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring him in right now.
Yeah, you go make the call. I'll sign the contract.
Danette,
Oh,
okay.
if you can hear this, can you
Is there public
unmute
comment?
yourself and see if there's public comment
On item.
on item number 1?
Danette?
she's probably muted and not remembering.
She can hear us. If you're
Jeanette.
muted,
Sorry, I can hear you fine. I just had to walk to the,
So is there any public comment on this item?
no public comment.
Thank you.
okay, great, we'll close item number 1. Jackie, item number 2.
All right, good morning, Jacqueline Longshore Maintenance Department.
Morning, Jackie.
Good morning.
Morning.
Afternoon.
Is it afternoon already?
So weird.
Yes, we're
Day is
here.
speeding by. So I am here this morning to make the recommendation to approve the purchase of materials for construction of the Lidster Avenue and Cypress Hill Unit 1 pipeline replacement project in the amount of $161,993.77, and authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents. Some background on this project. It is part of the district's pipeline replacement project program to replace aged and deteriorated water distribution infrastructure. This project was identified as this year's program project because of the frequency of leaks and maintenance issues. In fact, I just last week received a phone call from a landowner in the project area who said, "Don't forget, there's a leak at my meter box."
Ah,
So, the Lidster Avenue and Cypress Hill Unit Pipeline Replacement Project includes installation of 4,900 feet of water main, the service lines to the meters, fire hydrant laterals, and new dry barrel hydrants by NID crews. The work area includes portions of Lidster Avenue, Cypress Hill Drive, Arcadia Drive, Arden Court, Huntington Court, Barbie Drive, and Hughes Road. I have attached a map. So a request for quotation was developed and sent to suppliers for project construction materials. The quotations were received with price guarantee through March 20th, 2020. And delivery estimates are estimated at 4 to 6 weeks upon placement of the order. Attached, we've provided the materials lists and the low quote. Staff reviewed the quotation for accuracy and is making the recommendation to approve the purchase of materials from the supplier quoting the lowest price, thereby recommending the purchase of materials from the following suppliers in the amount of $42,163.11 to Iconics, $58,233.04 to Pace, $61,597.62 to R&B. This item is in alignment with goals number 1 and 4 of the district's strategic plan through proactive management of physical and financial resources using proven practices that enhance efficiency and reliability.
So what are each of these 3 contractors gonna do?
So these
I'm
are
curious.
actually vendors.
They're vendors.
They're vendors. They're
Oh,
gonna be
vendors.
supplying the materials.
Okay, and are we
Yeah.
doing the labor in-house?
Yes.
We are doing the labor
Ah,
in-house.
so it's just like up on the banner.
Is this
Yes.
Gale
Yes.
Lane?
Yes, Gale and Borum.
So
That's exactly.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Jump
Go
into
ahead.
the question.
No, go ahead.
So this is replacement of an old system that's, how old?
Good
Since
question.
that subdivision was built?
I don't have the
You don't know
exact
that?
Probably.
age.
Probably, yes, and that's been
Long time.
Quite
50
some
years
time.
or something.
Well, yeah, this is this part of Grass Valley is like 1970s, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
what those
Yeah.
homes are, so
Yep,
it's coming up on, yeah, it's
Yeah.
clearly within the end of its useful life.
okay.
Yeah.
That was my first question. The other was, has this happened, this is the first one I think we've done since being on the board, so that's what I got questions about. The rise to the top of the priority list, is that what
Well, that
happens?
was my question. You're answering my
Oh,
questions.
good.
That's so good,
Usually
Chris.
that's mine. And how does that,
So this
So
was
we-
on the 5-year plan.
5-year plan,
It was
okay.
identified probably 5 years, at least 5 years prior.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it rise to?
Well, no, I
When we see
know
the
that-
number of frequency of.
right, we have a priority system based on how many leaks we have to fix or something like that?
Yeah, so we,
How many
every,
calls we get?
exactly, every
Yeah.
time we get a call, we log the location.
Okay.
And then we have, it's a very rough map.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
right.
almost hand done, but it basically shows here's the concentration, and that's how we move forward also with identifying future projects as well.
Okay. Perfect, because this is the older part, I believe this is the older part of that subdivision. The newer part is not included in this project, if I'm,
It looks to me like the whole project, the whole subdivision is in here.
The yellow lines,
The yellow line.
the yellow lines are
Orange
what
lines.
are slated for,
Kind of orange.
Yeah.
for orange.
So we got half of it.
So all the
Yeah.
rest of that,
Oh,
all
I
that rest
see.
of that area was built later on. This is newer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Huh.
including Rockwood, I think.
Yeah, the Rockwood
Anyway.
townhomes were here when I was here in the 70s. Those
Okay.
are old
Well,
babies.
Just curiosity more than anything how this works, and that sounds good.
Yeah, the frequency of leaking events or maintenance issue events, and then, of course, year-to-year budgeting is how
Right.
that's defined, which project goes year to year.
So, Chris, that was a good question. So when I read this, I was thinking that, where the orange meets the blue on Cypress Hill on this
Yeah.
map, so we're not having any problems with leaking on the balance of Cypress Hill?
It doesn't mean we're not gonna have this
Oh.
as part of another phase, but these streets specifically have been identified as having high
okay.
concentration numbers.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't have the other portions in there, so less likely to have high concentration leaks in those areas. And then also, projects can be broken up or are broken up based on budgetary year to year.
Right,
What do we
right.
think we can accomplish? The footage you'll notice from this year to last year is less. Last year, we did about almost 8,000 feet in Gale Borum. The challenge in here is that there's gas pipe, there's more utilities underground that we're gonna have to deal with. It's gonna take longer, so that impacted the overall budgeting for the year.
When are you gonna do a job walk with the neighbors like we
Yes, we
did
are.
before?
We are gonna have a meeting with the neighborhood. We are
Uh-huh.
gonna have a job walk again. We're gonna have a post-job walk, so we will obviously let you know this is
Yeah, I
in
was
your
gonna ask
division.
specific to be notified. These folks are all, at least for now, still in my division, or some of them are, so.
Absolutely, you will get
Yeah,
notification.
I'd like to do that. And then, I had one other interesting question for myself. Oh, I know. How many connections, how many people will this actually serve or improve their connections? I didn't go and count all the little dots, and it's a good thing I didn't, because I'd have been wrong.
You know what, I have it
Off
on the
the top.
drawings. Off the top of my head, I
It
think
doesn't have to be exact.
there was about between 150 and 160, I believe. Don't quote me, but it is on the job drawing.
Because it's interesting, you bring up, Director Bierwagen, about our priorities, and one of the things, and I don't even know if it's proper, but it's like, oh, is what we're gonna do gonna serve 3 people, or is it gonna serve 150 people? And it's interesting to me to have that be as part of our decision processes. Where is it in the hierarchy, and how many folks is it gonna serve versus how many it's not gonna serve? It'd just be interesting to know. But I approve this, yay, go.
Okay,
Start as soon as you can.
thank you.
Yes. Me too.
Thank you.
Great, thanks,
Jack,
Jackie.
would you lift up the,
Danette, is there any public comment on this item?
Danette,
Hi, there's no public comment.
What'd she say?
is there any public there?
There is no public here.
No.
Okay.
No public. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
great. Close item 2, open item number 3. Jackie?
All right, good morning again. All right. Good morning again. So I'm here to recommend the approval of the purchase of the International HX 620 6x4 10-yard truck with Reliance dump body and transfer trailer in the amount of $233,172.78. Approve a budget amendment to the 2020 maintenance budget and authorize the general manager to execute the appropriate documents. So the maintenance department had budgeted for a new transfer trailer and a new 10-yard dump truck to replace a district-owned 10-yard dump truck. That is nearing the upgrade due date set by the California Air Resources Board to comply with the regulations of the Clean Air Standards. Based on the CARB upgrade schedule, the district's 2000 Freightliner 10-yard dump truck is due for replacement by January 1st of 2021. The purchase of the new transfer trailer and a new 10-yard dump truck will support district efforts to comply with the regulatory clean air standards and continue immediate availability of vital pieces of equipment used by the maintenance department. The purchase of the new 10-yard dump truck will also support efforts to maximize the auction value. As soon as we receive the new one, we can send the old one that is due for release by the beginning of next year.
Then when you auction that off, what happens to the proceeds? Does it come back into your maintenance?
No,
No,
goes
it
into the
actually
general
goes
fund.
It goes into the general fund.
Yeah.
Seems like it should come back into maintenance to offset. Just thinking.
It becomes available to the board to allocate as it wishes.
I understand, but, you know. I was
And this
curious.
is brand new, is this you're saying new? Or brand new,
This
or-
will be a brand-new
Brand new.
truck replacing
So I
a,
was astounded to read the other one as a 2000. I watched it drive around forever and go. We only own one, right? Transfer truck, or do we own two?
we currently own one transfer truck,
One transfer.
transfer and truck,
With
but we
trailer.
have multiple 10 yards.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this will be a
multiple 10 yard.
package where we
This is a
have the
package.
10-yard and a transfer.
Because they have to be compatible to the transfer
Yes,
type.
so we focused on making sure that the trailer is
Yeah.
compatible with all the 10 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, we've talked to Reliance about
Yeah.
that.
So this has worked out, right? So we didn't have a transfer until a couple of years ago.
Right,
When I was
right.
asking, why are we driving 10-wheelers back and forth to Marysville? Why don't we have a
Right.
transfer on the back?
Right.
So it's because they're expensive, right?
Yeah.
But we were able to get one trip, we were able to get 2 loads. We're much more efficient in the field. And so phasing out our older 10-yard fleet and bringing in trucks that can carry the piggyback,
Yep.
you know, it's
Makes
kind of a
perfect
2-for-1.
Yes,
Okay.
All right.
yes.
Okay.
All right, public comment?
Any public?
Jeanette?
Danette?
Hi, so there's no public comment.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, close item 3.
We should have more
Number 4,
meetings on
Kean.
snowy days, right?
I know, snow day meetings, like this.
All right, good afternoon, directors and committee. Keenan Summers, Hydroelectric Manager. We're here this afternoon to, among other things, talk about the potential of signing a mutual aid agreement with the Placer County Water Agency and Yuba County Water Agency, which is now the Yuba Water Agency. Back in 2014, when they were fresh off their partnership agreements with PG&E, those two other entities signed a mutual aid agreement allowing them to exchange hydroelectric employees and tools and whatever else they may need. At that time, we elected not to join it. District Legal Counsel raised a couple of questions about the indemnification. Specifically, the concern is that if a district employee goes to work somewhere else and they get hurt, it's the district workers' comp that covers that, that has to cover that person. Realistically, that's the only way this agreement can work, and that's what council has kind of come to, but the district at the time was concerned about that. As we look at the COVID-19 and look at staffing issues that might come as a result of it, we've decided it's an opportune time to bring this back to the committee and dust it off and see if there's interest at this time. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but other than that.
It is my strong recommendation to,
I think the benefits outweigh the risk.
Yeah, me too.
The whole comp thing, you know, that things happen, but not gonna happen anymore there than here. I'm in favor.
Yeah, me too.
okay?
And did our attorney get to weigh in on this revision?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So
Andy-
those things written in do we have a contract, do we do a contract with
It's
them?
right here,
or-
yeah.
or the
Yeah,
mutual?
the
Yes, I
contract's
did-
here.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only concern they brought back was this workers' comp thing. If we send somebody, we are at risk, but he also said that there's just no way to work around it. I mean,
Right,
otherwise
right.
you're.
You either accept the risk or you
Right.
don't play.
Right.
So,
And we're not talking about a routine thing here. This is gonna be, an extraordinary sort of circumstance that we're gonna use this.
That you'll
And the weakness is also our coverage, right? So when we bring PCWA into our house, the workers' comp is on them. When we bring Yuba guys in to help us out, the workers' comp's on them.
And they all agree to the same thing, right?
Yes.
And do we know if our workers' comp coverages are equal?
I
don't.
don't know the answer to that.
Equal with those other agencies?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we bring a PCWA person here and they get hurt, or I just am wondering how they stack up. Not that it
I've never
really
looked at
matters,
that.
I guess, but.
It's on them, I guess.
It's
But
on
yeah,
them.
we can check.
Their own
No, it doesn't
individual.
matter. I mean, if the attorney's okay, then we're okay, and I think it's a great idea and we should go do it.
Okay.
Let's get this, just in case we need it.
Can you
Yes.
press mute before you move it?
Why
Yeah.
press mute?
Because what happens when we don't press mute, she just
Well, we're at-
warned me
we're-
that
we're
it
at the-
feeds back, and then unmute for me. There's just a loud sound. There we go. And there's a delay.
That is so much better, and we have no public comment here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that concludes the APC meeting for today. Thank you very
Wow,
much.
that was easy.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Wait.